Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Roach Wiggle, October 26th, 2023. I don't know why I had to check the date there. Let's see. Gonna wrap up some stuff and see I have some messages on Discord I have to dive into. I'm gonna go ahead and put an at everyone. Auctions for this week. All auctions slated for shipping this week will be shipped by tomorrow. Thank you for your patience as I approach the last week of auction shipping. What can I say, everybody? It's been a wild ride the last 3 weeks. It's honestly gone by, and I have very little recollection of anything that's happened, and especially this week. Donate button yesterday is broken on site. Let's see. Something's not right. This page doesn't exist. Well, that's weird. It's the donate button on set up donation link PayPal. The button on the care guides works. How to accept donations with PayPal? I'm not going to sign in. Maybe it's just because it's on a different page and the link's broken. Thank you for pointing that out. Also, hello, Jojo. I see we have Jojo, Alan. I feel like we had somebody else here. Nick Long. Oh, hey, Nick. Hey, good to see you. Alex. I will, real quick, Alex. Firebelly's all made it here perfectly. I'll talk more about that later. No concerns. Orang Mango, I'm at the post office, so no audio for now. A.person, welcome. I'm going to try. Here's the donate link. Let's see. Create a link. Get a link. Thank you for bringing that up, Jojo. I was imagining there might have been a reason why donations were not pouring in. Display your logo, add an image to your donation page. So I'm going to have to rework that link right now and get that up and running because that's going to be integral for the future. I have to apparently close out Discord too. Let's see, or not. I don't know. I'm sure there's one time, monthly, yearly, desktop, mobile, Roach Crossing, add purpose for donations. Your donations will help fund the Roach Crossing website overhaul by allowing Kyle to take a month off of sales to work strictly on your donation will help fund the Roach Crossing website overall. All right, simple and sweet. Display your logo. Continue. Let's see. How much you want donors to give? Any amount. Give donors the option to increase their donation and help. Okay. Make monthly recurring. Whatever. Continue. Donors' mailing addresses. Okay, I think I just set up a new button, so let's see. Get the link. Okay. Edit this. Sorry for doing this, guys, but this is important for me to get done, and should update that. It means I should probably update the website, the blog post too, with the donation link. This is all, of course, in glorious preparation for the over. Now, why didn't it let me remove the link, and then it didn't ask me what I wanted to insert or edit link, remove link, link. Okay. Something is acting real screwy. Okay, I think I at least got it on the home page. If anybody want to see if it works on there, I'll catch up in the chat right now. I pulled it back up. Napping ZZZ, just what I want to see. I've got gray mites really bad. The bugs won't eat their food if there's mites on it. It's such a pain in the arse. Joseph Tevir, hello. Again, Joseph, I don't think I've learned how to pronounce your last name on your thing there. Smack, you could totally start a Patreon. Just thought this was a whole debacle last year. I was looking into Patreon, GoFundMe, all this stuff. It was more stuff than I wanted to do. They ask for like 5 different routing numbers and all this other stuff, and I do so much stuff through PayPal already. Here's my donation to the Kyle Candelian Memorial Fund. All right, thank you. I was going to say for the website, you're welcome to donate it. Here, I'm actually finishing setting up my getting money from super chats and all that stuff. All right, so the homepage works. So that means I should be able to just copy paste that button from the homepage. Basically, it's easiest for me to do it through PayPal because it all gets calculated at the end of the year. I know some people have strong feelings pro or against PayPal, but paste without formatting, paste with formatting. Okay. I know some people have strong feelings, but quite frankly, it's more work for me to have to do it in 5 different places. So it is an evil, but a necessary evil for me, and I pay taxes on everything already. I think the link on the blog post also works, so that's good. So, all right. Notification of donation received. All right. We have our first donation from Dark Mana Digital. Thank you. Oh, that means I need to keep track of that. So, yeah, there's a lot going on right now, guys. I'm going to be quite honest. I wake up and I do about 2 hours of emails and I caffeinate and then I go and work. I've been going and working on shipping from whenever I finish emails straight through basically to whenever, like an hour before the post office closes. It's been absolutely nuts. But at least people are getting their bugs before the weather starts to get colder. So, Alex, I hearted your donation. Thank you. Chain recommending predatory mites for grain mites. I second that recommendation. I'm actually going to start selling them on the Roach Crossing in the future. The update, once we get some, Jojo and I get some macro photos. That's probably a good quick one to get a macro photo of, and it should be helpful for identification. That way I can sell them with their Latin attached. That will be helpful. But yeah, grain mites used to be awful. Like if it happened, I would like stress out about them, and I would like, oh, I have to redo the whole enclosure, and it's gonna suck, and this is gonna die, and blah blah blah. And now I toss as many predatory mice as I can from an already colonized enclosure in, and then I just kind of forget about it. And in about 2 weeks, the problem's completely resolved. It's wonderful. Title asking, what's the circle on the front of your enclosure? Smack seconding that the link is working. Excellent. Thank you guys for checking that. Magnificent Animals is banned on PayPal for selling contraband goods, maybe Cuban cigars or Elephant Ivory Magnificent Animals. Is that what you were selling on PayPal? I dare not make further accusations, but I'm being facetious, obviously. The circle title those are watering ports. They're brass micro screens so that roaches can't get in or out of them. And that's so that I can go. A lot of roaches can go quite a while without food, especially with the way that I have the enclosure set up. Or if the food's kept dry, they'll eat it. They do have chewing mouth parts after all, but a lot of things will not go a long time without water. So this just makes it so I can run around and water everything in here and not have to do full husbandry. And it's been working amazing for all these little like tobioid roaches, Latiblatella, Cariblata, all that stuff, doing really good. Magnificent Animals is selling furry art. I don't think that's why they do randomly ban sometimes. Yeah, I kind of had my foot in the door with PayPal for almost 2 decades now, because I think I got the account in like 2009 or something. I got my own account off of my parents, and when they asked me for add this info, add that info, whatever, I was able to do it way back when. And it seems like one of those things you kind of probably got grandfathered in with some stuff. So, Braden, hello, welcome. Braden, did I ship your stuff already? I can't remember. I think I did. I think I shipped your order. If it did arrive, I hope it was good. Alex, while I have a break in the chats and stuff here, and can stop being miserable for a second about shipping. Yes, the fire bellies and the yellow bellies all here in good shape. And in your email, you said you were going to send 5 fire bellies. You sent 10, so I appreciate that. I think that's good. I gotta get some good enclosures, double prepped for all of things, and I just got another order of polycarb lids in today rather, and that's going to be helpful with keeping moisture in. I don't think it was foolishly, but I opened the window here to cool things off a bit because it's 84 and the humidity was like 70% this morning. And it's dropped down to 51. As we all know, Kyle loves to talk about humidity. It's going to get really dry in here pretty fast. So I got to start keeping an eye on some stuff that's more sensitive to that and start spraying more frequently. But also, anybody, Exotic Wilderness, hey, LC, hi. Hi, Liz. A lot of people here today. Wonderful. Again, I forgot to add that I was going to be streaming today, but I didn't say I wasn't, so I'm going to go ahead and pause this. I'm going to like my own live stream. There we go. For those, winter is coming. It is coming. Josh Suds, hello. We got so many people here, and more people are donating. I'm glad. Was it just the broken link? I appreciate all the donations that have come in so far. I will be keeping track of all of them, and there will probably be a special page on the future. Well, there's going to be something on the future site. I could just make it a page or on the About Us or something, thanking people for everybody's contributions, because the goal, as stated in the blog post, is, and it's officially up there, everybody, the goal by December is $4,000, which covers all of my existence expenses for a whole month. And that's for me to take the month of December off of doing emails and sales and stuff and putting all that energy into just the website overhaul and whatever husbandry I have to do as well. So yeah, we're going to see. Angel actually had a wonderful idea. I think I have them here somewhere. Oh, I left them in the other room. She had a wonderful idea, and I'm not sure why I didn't think of this sooner, or why I didn't think of this, but Angela had this amazing idea that I should do a raffle for stuff and sell raffle tickets. The only thing I kind of was wondering, like, do you have to have a license or something for that? I mean, I ran an auction. I was like, don't you have to have an auctioneer's license to technically run an auction? But maybe it's like a public auction. Like in person, some of those laws are still out of date with our online economy and blah, blah, blah. But anyways, she suggested doing a raffle. So I'm thinking maybe next week I'll get some information for a raffle up there, and people can buy. If you start an OnlyFans, you might get a ton of money. An OnlyFans where all I do is post pictures of roaches from behind. Honestly, I could see that becoming a meme. Maybe something I'll look into one day. I didn't know the Taiwan creeping raspberry was a tropical rubus, Braden. I tried growing it outside. There's a lot of things saying, oh, yeah, it's cold hardy. Oh, yeah, blah, blah, blah. I have no idea it was tropical because they advertise as being temperate. So if you got a good amount of that, I might have to buy some from you. A person asking about what species of hisser I was selecting to be massive again, perhaps referring to the gigantic pair of hissers that I had at the impromptu live stream on Sunday. I decided to live some of that early getting into a hobby magic of just checking your cultures at night and just seeing who's doing well and all that stuff. And I showed off the F2 selection of Groundford Portentosa King, which is pure Cleveland stock, being selected for size. And I hope people were as impressed with them as I was. I've certainly produced bigger hissers in my life from a couple of other species, like Oblongonota produced some bigger adults, not consistently, but there have been some really big ones. Same with Princessia. But the idea is I want to get the consistency so that 9 out of 10 males are a certain size minimum. So, only Roach. Aaron and Vega are doing well. I'm glad to hear, other than one disastrous auction order that went out and pretty much everything died, it sounds like everybody else has gotten things in good shape, and I'm very happy to hear that. So, again, my life is the past, I can't believe it's Thursday because I've been doing shipping for 4 days straight, and I can at least say that if I get everything shipped tomorrow that I have slated to ship, that I will be completely on top of the auction orders, full stop, and going into next week, which is going to be a crazy week because I have regular orders I've started taking again, auction orders, and then at the end of the week is Youmacon, which should be Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So this weekend I actually have to work on my cosplay and stuff, and Angela's going to work on hers, and some of our friends are going to work on theirs too. But it's a lot of stuff going on right now. I've got beetles I've been pairing, and I've been rotating through laying bins, and that's been kind of a hassle. Hopefully get as many Grantii, Dynasties Grantii as Alan did. Alan told me he got 91 eggs from 2 females, and so I've got a fresh adult female. I've got a female that's probably mated, all captive bred, and just going to keep rotating them through a mating enclosure and then into some egg laying enclosures and see what I end up with. So Braden says in Taiwan it grows in areas that never see freezing temps, but also grows high in the mountains. I have some indoors and I'm testing some outdoors this winter. Yeah, here I gave it good drainage. I gave it a southern exposure. I got it established early in the season. It did not survive the Michigan winter, and I think that winter might have been the winter it died was a pretty hard winter. But if it can be grown year round indoors, it definitely has my attention. Let's see, anything else going on? Anything off the top of my head? Not. I've just, again, it's been shipping, and then forcing myself to take some time to spend with Angela because she's been here all week too, helping to keep me alive and sane and whatnot. And so, Exotic Wilderness says Kyle was waiting for your live to ask what permits do you need to sell isopods. You need a permit for every single isopod that's crossing state lines, and they only issue permits for about 15 native and introduced species. So every other isopod that has been shipped across state lines, rubber duckies, Platyarthris Porcellio Hoffman Zegii, Porcellio was it Affinis levis, aka dairy cows, etc., are all illegal to ship across state lines without permits, and they do not offer permits for those species. So they're all illegal. So keep that in mind, everybody. And the USDA APHIS is very well aware of this, and they don't seem to have an exact plan of how to manage the situation other than giving permits for the species they are allowing across state lines to individuals who have requested those permits. And again, saying that you have Cubaris murina rubber ducky and it's not forging when you provide incorrect information. Let me see if that the act of forging or producing a copy of a document, blah, blah, blah. Perception. Okay, you're not making a copy or imitation of a document. It is providing false information on a government document, which is a big no-no if you want to play by the rules. For the record, lying. Yeah, it's lying on government documents. So, I think Platyarthris Hoffman Zegii. I have to look at the list. It's like the stuff that they allow is like Cubaris murina, Porcellio scaber, Oniscus ocellus. It's all stuff that's been in the U.S. for centuries now. And they don't even allow it for some native stuff too. But yeah, basically they it's all legal. Anybody who tells you otherwise, they made it all up. They made it up. Alan says, having bad luck with Hermetica here. Hope yours are breeding sparingly. And one of these days, I hope I'll crack the case with a Hermetica to really get them going. I'm trying higher density and higher humidity. I'm really looking into humidity as part of successes and failures with roaches, especially after the success with all these ectobioidy roaches with the high ventilation setups. Then I set my eye on other things that I've been having problems with. So LC says, I want to try Blabbers gigantes, but I also want to try Blabbers species Honduras. Could you list some cons and pros about the both of them? Honduras, easy, pretty fast breeding. Takes higher population density, less concern about air humidity and ventilation and stuff, but they are noticeably smaller than Giganteus. Not by much, but noticeably. Giganteus are, of course, gigantic. Some people don't have problems with them. Some people do. Yeah, that's about all. If you want giant cave roaches, get Giganteus. If you want a really big cockroach, might be like technically like the second biggest in because Macropanacea are in there somewhere too, but they're up there in like the top 10 for largest roaches in captivity in the U.S. I think. Although those Archimandrita CF tessellata from Panama City are really long. They're just not as heavy as the tessellata that I have. Species Honduras absolutely dwarf craniifera. They dwarf pretty much everything other than Giganteus in terms of Blabrus. I mean kind of comparable to the larger Colossius strange. By the way, apparently our Colossius might actually be true Parabolicus, and I don't think we know what our actual Parabolicus are. So that's going to be something I'm going to go into on the website. I talked to TJ about it. I talked to Alan more about it. Talked to some other people to see what direction things are going to go. Dynamo Terra, good to see you. Good to see that your auction bugs arrived as well. I hope everything was to your liking. Alex saying that Blabrus fusca barely eat but breed like rabbits. I don't know. Mine eat quite a bit. They're quite. I'm trying to think. I mean, I haven't been feeding them as much as I should be, honestly, lately. But I mean, they breed. Another part of it is having good substrate mix. Again, I've been trying out some new substrate mixes, and I'm getting real good results. Sorry if the screen was shaking, guys. My foot's just going. Just so high anxiety the last week. With now, I have tomorrow where I need to drive Angela back to her place and think about all the orders I need to ship tomorrow too. It's just like, there's so much stuff. Grimdark Lemonade, I'm glad Satchel told you the advice about the Bulimulus. I already got eggs from them. Hope you get to breed them too. Yeah, I really need to move them into a larger enclosure, but it's kind of lower-ish priority right now. I figure if I can keep them alive for another 2 months, and then in the winter when my free time goes through the roof, I can really put them into something better. Because some of those banded caracols, I need to move into a bigger enclosure too. There's just a lot of things, and my time right now has to go into shipping, or I'm just going to get behind on it. And I'm really hoping that next week will be the nail in the coffin. I'll probably cut things off at like Tuesday. I'll work on shipping stuff all day Monday, all day Tuesday, and I'm really going to need Wednesday and Thursday to get ready to be gone for the weekend, basically. Magnus Annals of super high anxiety this week too. Alan does not agree with the assessment that our hobby Colossius are actually Parabolicus. Again, TJ will say things. He will show me some images of stuff that he's found, and he will make a convincing argument. And again, that's why I wanted to talk we'll probably have to get a great Roach council together to discuss the situation with stuff like that, as well as figuring out some nomenclature for Gramphidorina in culture. I grow very convinced. I'd say I'm at about a 70 to 80% 80 to 70% convinced that the Gramphidorina species unknown are actually, in the strictest sense, Gramphidorina grandideri. If not, again, seeing if they got crossed with Portentosa or something at some point. But still waiting on that European analysis of Gramphidorina. Zach Willis says, how much ventilation do Borneo leaf mimics need? I don't know if they're common name exchange, but can't find much info on them. Their species Kota Kinabalu, but I have them with full top ventilation. They do really fine. They're from rainforest areas, but a lot of blackbird roaches will take a good amount of dryness. And through the winter, I'm looking at a lot of things. We're trying to streamline some processes, get some better consistent propagation out of some cultures, and some Anthony Green, I shipped a box to you today. I hope that's okay. If I recall, it only had 2 things in it. One of them was one thing you got from the auction, but if I forgot that I wasn't supposed to ship this week, that's on me. Fortunately, at least one of the things I sent, I know I can send a bunch more of. I can't remember the other thing that you got, though. But I'm at home, no worries. Okay. Sorry about the kidney stones. That really sucks. Let's see. Elsie, so did you say they're very similar to peppered roaches? Yeah, kind of. Probably from kind of similar climate places. Probably hotter. Kota Kinabalu is supposed to be a very warm place. So, but anyways, yeah, Anthony, I can't remember what you got for the auction, but I sent you some Gryllus assimilis. I sent you, I think, maybe like 20 or 30 of them, since I've been getting a good hatch. Gotta repay the favor. Sorry to be earwig except. Oh wait, no, there's Anthony Green and there's Jonathan Green. Why do you guys both have the same last name? One of you just got a 20 to 30 count of Gryllus assimilis in your order. And now I feel like my brain is overheating seeing that there's 2 greens here. Jonathan saying, sorry to be earwig obsessed. Kyle, how much substrate do you give your Arcanum? I have them with 3 inches. All mine are still alive from where I got them. I haven't seen any eggs or babies yet. Mine are on about 2 inches. I keep it pretty moist, although they will take a good amount of dryness. Basically, it just needs to be deep enough. They seem to make the nests like between like an inch and an inch and a half. Well, half inch and an inch and a half deep. Seems to depend on a couple of factors. Let's see. All right, I'll just provide ventilation on the lid near the top. I mean, I have the colony of the strain that has the different colors that I was sent in one of these critter keeper things. They didn't do so hot through the winter last year. It was also a fresh culture. They're doing fine now, but the air humidity's gone up. Orang Mango, I love the Aranavega I was sent. Of all the species you keep, which is your favorite? The Apache from Cave Creek Canyon, I think, have really grown on me. Floridensis, if I could just get better results out of keeping them. I really got to figure out. There's no reason that Floridensis should not be reproducing like Tonkawa or Apache or anything like that. There's something that everybody's not seeing. There's just something we're not doing right. They should be just as productive as any of the other Aranavega species. Maybe I did something to you, Anthony. I can't remember. Well, somebody's getting some Gryllus assimilis. Again, my mind is just blown right now. Well, whichever one of you is the green that I need to send the Gryllus assimilis to, you're either getting some this week or you're getting them next week. Guys, you're driving me crazy. I've been seeing too many names. I have to write like I have to decide when on these shipping cups if I want to write like the person's actual name or an abbreviation for it or your Discord name, because otherwise it's all the words just blur together right now. It's awful. It's absolutely awful. I say as there's 26 people in the chat. Thank you everybody. Whoever came out for this live stream. Thanks for tuning in. We got 10 likes. If we could get some more likes, I appreciate that. Anybody have anything you want me to talk about? I also, Kimber Dark says, I also completely forgot to include my full name in the shipping address email. You're going to need that. Yes, please send me stuff. Hello, Lorraine K. Yes, please send me Beetle. Oh, no. Beetle Pixels having some crazy stuff going on. I'm going to have to answer that tomorrow morning, but not tomorrow morning. I'm going to have to answer it tomorrow night because I'm not going to do emails until tomorrow night because I get to do shipping tomorrow morning as early as I can. The 2-hour drive both ways in the morning. Goose, Raba. It's okay. Everything's fine. Josh Suds, let's bring it back down to earth here. Let's bring it back down tonight. Somebody told me. Anyways, only 90s kids will get this reference. Josh Suds asking, do your rhino roaches vary in size any good amount? Yes, I've had some that I had a female that matured in like a year that was smaller than most hissers, and then I've had some males that have taken their time that have gotten gigantic. Alex says, talk about religion and politics. How about even worse? Are we talking about the politics of religion or Star Wars opinions? Yeah. 3 ways to start a fight real easy. What large terrestrial mollusks do you keep and how do you keep them? Well, I had a colony of the Florida leatherleaf slugs, and I don't know why, but a couple of them just sort of withered up and died, even though everything was moist and there's a full cleanup crew and I've been feeding and blah, blah, blah. And I hope that I can salvage the colony. I only have maybe like 10 of them. And I almost wonder if maybe it was too humid in the enclosure over the summer. So, that might have been it. A lot of slugs don't like to be humid, like not the way you'd think they want to be. Like during the summertime, it's easy to overwater some of that stuff. They just don't like it sometimes. And the velvets and the leather leaves are kind of like that. I have that nice colony of Neohelix albolabris. They're just kept in like a detritivore setup. Show bug, pancake hisser boy, says Smack Smack. You guys are killing me. You're killing me by making me show bug. I gotta go get a pancake hisser before the end of the stream, apparently. I appreciate that, Smack Smack. I will get you a pancake hisser. I'm gonna set an alarm for that, actually. We're gonna go get a pancake hisser at, oh my lord, it's already 7:38. I'm gonna go get a pancake hisser at 7:53. I'll go get a pancake hisser for us to look at. Could you list some tips on Pseudomops septentrionalis? Tip number 1, get a Western strain. That's a big one, actually, I feel, because a lot of people have had difficulty keeping the Eastern ones going continually. We don't know if they've started to adapt to a diapause or what it is, but they just don't reproduce as reliably, as quickly as the Western strains do. Apple's one of their favorite things, I've noticed. I know I feed Apple to a lot of stuff, but I kind of go out of my way to make sure they have that available. I just have them in one of these enclosures. Actually, one of the larger size ones. I like them a lot. I want a pretty good sized colony of them. And so they're just on the substrate's moist. There's a lot of airflow in the air column, etc. Tennyson says, just made the air in a Vega enclosure. High ventilation. Substrate is 1-to-1 coconut fiber and white rep to sand and keeping 1/3 of it moist. That sounds about right. Sounds pretty good. Magnificent Animals also wants to see a pancake hisser. Yes, we will. We shall get to that. I assure you. Alan asking for any Princessia Van Weerebecca Andrew Hamana updates. No, nothing. There's got to be a husbandry issue. There's no reason these hissers should be taking this long. And I think maybe they just want it like room temperature without supplemental heat and moisture, and that might be why they're not doing anything. So, because there's no reason. I've seen the females kicked out like 1 or 2 oots in the past like year or whatever, however long she's been an adult. There's no reason there should be a year long gestation period. There's something wrong. Something I'm not doing right. Something people aren't doing right. But I did introduce I did take some virgin females of the hobby line to throw in there to maybe get the female a little more comfortable. Some Lee effect. Maybe it'll encourage her to have a successful ooth. And otherwise, the male will mate with them. And when they start looking a little chubby, I can pull them out, and then we'll have a half bastard Andromana line. And then I can, if the male should live quite a while. He's in pretty good shape still, going on like a year old, considering the fluctuations of conditions. But anyways, then ideally take the offspring that are produced, take female offspring and cross them back to their dad, and then just keep doing that as much as I can to make as Andromana strain as possible in case nobody gets them going. And then obviously label it as, it's not pure Andromana, but it's been selected for the phenotype. Tennyson, 3 inches deep of substrate. Yeah, it should be fine. 2 inches is probably fine. Anthony Green really wanting me to take my shirt off to clear the energy in the room. I went through the trouble of putting on my one business work shirt. I'm not going to take it off. It's got the little label and everything right there. Void Films says hi. Hello, Void Films. I'll answer your question really quick. I just set up a 15-quart tub with a clip-on lid for ice pods. Any recommendations? An underlay is pretty important too if you've got climby isopods that like to crawl up the sides when they're wet. So I use underlays on all my isopod enclosures. It also helps to keep things out too. Josh Suds, how often do your rhino roaches molt? My female hasn't molted since February 22nd. The first couple of instars, they molt every few weeks to months, and then it drastically slows down after that for rhino roaches. A person asked about any specific kind of apple. I used the feed store feed apples last week. I don't know what type they were. My preference when I go to the grocer is to find some nice, sweet, long-lasting apples. I gravitate towards the pink ladies. There was one a couple of weeks ago that had a weird name. It was like Sweet Crisp or Sweet Kiss or some stupid advertising name. The store, when I asked for, they're like, what? And I was like, yeah, it's like right on the sign over there. And they had to go and give me the cases of it and whatnot. I'm like, I never heard of that. Pink Lady usually, Brayburns, Galas. I don't think roaches like Red Delicious. I don't think things like Red Delicious too much. Definitely avoid the Granny Smith. Have used Macintosh before. Not too much against Macintosh, but sometimes you get them in the store and they're picked underripe, and the roaches definitely don't like that. But definitely avoid the Granny Smith. Golden Delicious is probably fine. Orang Mango, I keep my Aerial Limax pretty human. They have seemed quite happy. Yes. The thing with the Aerial Limax though was another thing with a lot of slugs. I don't know if it's a snail thing. I know there are multiple slugs that have derived from snails, but they seem to, maybe it's because of all their whole body's exposed to what's around them. They're very sensitive to stuff like ammonia buildup sometimes. So can you use the leaves from cottonwood trees for roaches? Yes, you can. I actually need to do some sterilizing of leaves. Oh my gosh, my schedule is so crammed right now because again, basically for the next 2 weeks, everything must be hit every note with everything I'm doing, and get ready for November of cleaning house and getting ready for some relaxation before a December of hard work. So some discussion on the leather leaves. The black velvets or the black leather leaves are native to South America, but the Ladula are a Florida native. We have found them in very dry places, so it almost makes me wonder if I should have been keeping them drier. Exotic Wellness said, last time you talked about the pink slime mold. Do you care showing us? There's none active in any enclosures right now. Last winter it popped up maybe twice in some enclosures. I'll try and grab some of it the next time I see it. When I do, Honeycrisp, Lorraine, yeah, Honeycrisp. That wasn't the one I was thinking of that I got, and the people were like, oh, what's that? But Honeycrisp is one that I have used before. It's fine. Get those ones that are pink or red on the inside. Sometimes they are. Sometimes the bulk, the discount, or not the discount, the like bulk or like really cheaply baggied apples do have some red on the inside. Tennessee asking how prolific have the Sahuarita been. Well, I failed with them twice before I got them going this time, and I think I should have just given them more space from the get-go. And I'm wondering, there's probably a complex interaction between the single Periplaneta lateralis that's in the enclosure, the Venezilla arizonicus that are in the enclosure, and the Aranavega. I think there's a lot of poo munching going on. I have that suspicion. A person, thank you. That gives me a good idea of what I should be using. All right, good to know that gave you a better picture. Are there any theories as to what species they are? None. I don't think I've sent any to TJ yet. I mean, I have some males, but I'm trying to hoard up males and get them to is she Doctor now? Dr. Hopkins? I mean, we've been calling her Heidi Hopkins the whole time, but she wants all the Aranavega all at once when ready, so we can't do it piecemeal. Exotic Wilderness really liking Physerum. Let's see what Physerum is. Oh, another type of slime mold. Yeah, pretty nifty. Josh says, "Can you keep Polyphaga sauceri humid?" So I was having some problems with my sauceri, and I put a polycarb on their enclosure, which is dry, so it's dry substrate, and the air is a bit more humid, and they've been doing a lot better. I also started adding some leaf litter to the top, and they've been doing a lot better. So they definitely don't like to be wet. I can say that much. So you can exclude the wet end of the spectrum. Alex wondering about Fusca colony. If they really are Fusca, you are welcome to send me pictures. Roach is at low density, and with certain temperature fluctuations can get much larger than you would expect, or than the average size you may anticipate. Grimdark offering some help with gastropods. Yeah, I always appreciate some tips. I'm wondering if with could be a soil pH thing going on too. So I'm wondering if maybe for the leather leaves I should add a bit of lime. They don't, they have a bit of calcium incorporated into their body, but it's not like a snail where they need a bit more calcium than that. But I'm wondering it might help to balance the soil pH as waste builds up. 80 quart bin overkill for Periplaneta americana. Nah. I have a big my wild type colony from Dearborn has like is it 80 quarts? I don't know if it's 80 quarts. It's a big. The volume's it's got to be like a 25 to 30 gallon volume enclosure for that colony. Tennyson asking about the Aranavega doing well with Proporcelio or Armadillidium badium. I don't know, but I can tell you they do well with the Venezillo arizonicus. I can say that with good certainty. We are getting close to the time to fulfill the super chat requirement, which I appreciate. Again, I really appreciate that. Boy, howdy, do I have a lot of donation things to catch up on. I need a break, guys. Grimdark saying, for all of my snails, I always add calcium to the soil just preemptively. Aren't really any downsides to being alkaline, so no such thing as too much calcium for them, to be honest. Yeah, so that might be something I'll look into in the future with them. The Venezillo are a lot prettier than expected. I can't remember. Did you get Arizonicus or Pisum Orang Mango? Yeah, the Neohelix are doing fine, so I'm happy with those. They're detritivores. There's a small Dynamoterra. I thought you gave me an ID on them. I think you call it an awn snail or something that I collected in Auburn. They're maybe like the size of a dime maximum. They've got a lot of teeth on the operculum, and there's no seal to it. So those have actually been breeding in a little tiny container. So I'm going to bump them up pretty soon. And what else? And then there's all the hairy snails from the fen, and whatever the other species from the fen was. I haven't checked on them. I got to get to another thing to do. Billion things to do. The quote-unquote Venezillo Daxon tricolor Castle Black, blah, blah, blah. Thanks for shipping my auction winnings. Can't wait to see those Bursatria. Yes, I'm glad I could get them to you. The Rotha I know you've been wanting for a while. The isopod stuff, it's just moving kind of at the speed of light, and I wonder for how long, I just really wonder. Also wonder when some of the ridiculously expensive Thai butt plug ultra ribbed spikies or whatever are going to become accessible to me. I'm sure there's somebody here from the live stream who was working with one of those and said they were having very good results in a Viv. So hopefully, somebody will offer me 5 for something ridiculous. But I should bring this up. I did get my hands on a mixed sex group of Pseudarmadillo spinosus, and I have babies, and they have already grown. Seems like a very easy, straightforward species. I actually put them in with my Aegigus millipedes, so they will probably infest that container. So expect those in some giveaways and some auctions and whatnot in the future. Obviously, nowhere near the $5 trillion each or whatever. But a lot of talk about. Will Mollusk be on the updated website? Yes. Any ones that I've gotten going kind of successfully should be on there. So the Neohelix, and I may hazard to put up Ladula. I just need to recollect some more and not have whatever happened before happened. The funny thing was also in that Florida leatherleaf enclosure, there's a huge colony of Cubaris species rubber ducky. There's like hundreds of them in there, and there have been for a while. I was just using it to kind of farm extra numbers of them, and so they did really well. And I don't think there was a correlation between their population going up and the slugs going down. There was always enough food for everybody. So I think maybe I could point the finger at it being a humidity issue. It just maybe got too humid in there and they succumbed to a bacterial infection or something. Anthony Green, perhaps the Grylus did come to you. Again, brain hazy. Green, I did because I don't want to dox anybody, but one of the two of you goes by Jack also. And now I'm also realizing it might be the other Green. But the fact that there were 3 first names and 1 last name involved in all of this had my eyes crossing and my head spinning. So Tennyson, $500, $750 for 5, 10 if you're lucky. Yeah, so that's not a problem for me. I could just do that right. Well, here's the thing, everybody. I'll bring this up while we have a lot of people in here. Brought up earlier. Angela suggested to help with the donation thing that I do a raffle so people could buy raffle tickets, and maybe I'll just make them available during the live stream or only through the Discord or whatever, some way that I can keep better track of that, and then eventually do a raffle drawing day. So maybe there'll be like $10 donation, and you can be put into a raffle for Pseudoglomerus magnifica or Pseudarmadillo spinosus or what have you. And that way, this should help people have a chance of getting something that they really want, and that also helps to get funding for the donations on my end. So, Allie, I think your package is going out tomorrow. I need to double check. A lot of boxes have gone out. Thank you, Lois. I've seen P. spinosa have been more expensive. There's no reason for that. There's no reason for those pseudarmadillos to be more expensive than Pseudoglomerus magnifica. There is absolutely no reason. So, but they don't eat. They don't think they eat the eggs either, because they bred in that setup before. Well, they bred when there were the isopods. They bred before the isopods. The problem was I had a cluster of adults that was all, or not adults. They were like half grown. That was in like a back corner. There's still one or two in there. Now that I think about it, I know there's at least one. I found one live one. So if I have a pair, maybe the next time I get around to doing husbandry, I'll just dump a bunch of dolomitic lime in there and see what happens. So Elsie asked about how fast the Uricotis floridana Silver Springs breed. Not terribly fast, but you will end up having like a gush of babies. The egg cases have like maybe 25 to 35 eggs in them each-ish. So you could use them as feeders. You can use a lot of bugs as feeders when you have a good colony going. A lot of things under the right conditions reproduce very quickly. Grimdark Lemonade. I've noticed even with non-hungry, protein-hungry isopods, sometimes they piss off snails. Such slugs, you could try keeping them alone. But the other thing was I don't think it's the isopods. Unless they're pouring out of every orifice, I don't think that it's an issue for a lot of stuff. I had a couple of aerial limacs that lived for 2 years in an enclosure with a bunch of Porcellio scaber. Nobody ever got eaten or anything like that. And the slugs, I think they passed on when, I think it was during the move, or it was because I didn't clean the enclosure out and the ammonia and whatnot built up, because eventually there was a big crash of a lot of things in there. So there's something to be kind of watchful for. Do roaches often infest baking powder during shipping? Chris, I saw your texts, and I will hopefully get to them tonight, maybe tomorrow. It might even have to be a tomorrow thing. I saw your humorous texts, and I will be ready to play along at some point. But I'm glad that your Clabber Girl baking powder arrived. Unfortunate that it was full of roaches and millipedes. I don't know how that happened during the manufacturing process. A person, what's your favorite grain pest that you own? I really like the Necrobia rufipes. I really like those guys. They're just an easy, shiny, pretty, beautiful beetle. With that being said, I'm going to go run and grab a pancake hisser for our super chatter, so I will be back. All right, everybody. I tried to grab a major mail without taking the container down and like sifting through everybody, but like the second that I like started working in the enclosure, all the major mails just went straight to the bottom. So I grabbed this sort of like averagey size male with, I think one of his legs has a missing tarsus, but that's okay. We appreciate him for his personality, and we're gonna just give him a little bit of banana. I'm sure he wants a little bit of banana. Yeah, nothing. Yeah, there we go. Give him a little snack, a little schnackle dackle. Everybody needs a little bit of banana every once in a while. Let's see. I'm gonna see. Can I get it? Can I get it so that he's enjoying the banana and also in focus? Maybe the makeup trick. Come on. Right there, maybe. I know this camera can focus. Just got to obstruct more of the view with something up close. Too close? Right there, maybe? Come on. There's a dark object in the center of a light screen. It's got to focus on something. Huh? Well, he's just going to hang out. Well, okay, now it focused on my hand. All right. Anyways, let's see. Covered the favorite grain pest. We had the pancake history was just chilling. Flat friend Thursday. Thin something. Thin something. Thin thing Thursday. Friend shaped. Very friend shaped. You know, I wonder if people who are freaking out over like jumping spiders and stuff, if they just saw like roaches doing cute stuff like being a heckin' thin flatterino eating some banana, if they would be more infatuated with them. Look, I'm not a care in the world right now. He doesn't have to fight for territory. He don't even need to get his Falamir hooked. He's just eating some banana. That's all. He's got kind of okay horns. Again, I kind of wish. Oh, he's really going to town, guys. He's really going to town. That's his piece. Going to collect substrate for those Air Vega. Should get back to you this week, and then we can talk trading. Yes, sweet. I'm excited for the CF Investigata with some of the parent substrate one. I wish I could show him off a little bit better. He doesn't even care that I'm touching him. He's just going to town right now, having a good old time. Proper way to sanitize leaves. I like to steam them. The thing with it is you want to sanitize. If ideally you sanitize, and then you give it a couple of weeks to rest so that anything you killed kind of molds over or gets broken down and stuff like that, and the substrate becomes a little less rot-y and more decay-y. I like heckin' thin flatterino has become a thing. It's not important for everything. Like a lot of isopods don't care if it's freshly sterilized; they'll eat it anyways. But it seems more important for like some beetles and millipedes. Come on, we gotta. Let's see about like right here. Surprisingly difficult to fill the whole screen with all my digits and such. But this is YouTube is being prejudiced against Roach content. They want nothing but beetles. Apparently, beetles and Taphiliska, perhaps. Vinegar soaked and boiled multiple times. I don't think that much is necessary. Vinegar is I would not recommend that per se. What roaches have you found the farthest north? Found Parkablata pennsylvanica up in Rogers City last year. I was quite surprised to see them up there. And then in Traverse City, saw what's probably Virginica. So it's pretty surprised to see both of those way up there. That might be the farthest north I've ever been, except for the one time I went to one of the Dakotas. Might be the farthest north, or maybe have to see what latitude Seattle's at. So Tennyson's going to be working on breeding amber dubias in bulk. Roach got a 50-gallon for them set up. Just needs some metal screen and tossing on a 100-watt heat lamp over one side. Same idea as the ham, a sheet of white paper. I got another one. I'll do you one better. This came in the mail like maybe a month ago, and because I bought like a spill cleanup material from this company once, I think, and then I just got put on their mailing list, and now I just get all these Pest Pro things. Again, this was not a like they're spying on me. They know I got roaches. This has just been a thing that I've been getting. And then I got this issue like a month ago, and I was like, I'll keep this. I'll put this somewhere special, actually. Yeah, and it's surprising. I went through here looking for must have been a slow month because they got this Pool Pals, Aquatic Insects of Florida. It's interesting because they've got a couple of really easy find images from like Google Images, like this Panchlora pictures from I think it's from the Roach book, the Roth Roach book, the cockroaches ecology book. And then I've seen this cranny for pick around since I was in high school. I can't remember where it was from though. It's interesting because it was interesting. It's like it was written from like articles and stuff from like reading through it. I really get the vibe that this person it's like it was written a long time ago. It's interesting. Like these pictures. I'm fascinated that nobody in the Roach circles was contacted for pictures of stuff. You got some basic bee pictures of roaches here, like tricolored cockroach. There's not even Latin names on any of these. The Sundablata is not even labeled. It was just interesting, very interesting. It's a 3-page. There's just a little blurb on the bottom of here that says Ancient Europe, Neolithic homes for humans and cockroaches, and it feels like they were going to lead into something else with that, but they didn't. Anyways, let's try Zen Monkey's recommendation here. I don't know if it's in focus because I can't really see around. I can't really see. Maybe it'll focus in though. Oh yeah. Guys, I think this will, and of course, then it directly started to focus back on me afterwards. It's either me, or the Roach, guys. It's me or the Roach, apparently. Or maybe neither of us. Maybe in the future having something that can autofocus. I was really loving that. Banana there. It's his little special treat for being a special boy on the live stream. So, gasp. Anybody got any other questions? Husbandry, order, anything related questions for anything? Alex, it looks like Fusca. Could be one of the mutt lines, but if you knew where they came from, it looks like Fusca. There's nothing about the individuals you've sent that screams something else. So, beautiful. I stare into the void, and the void twitches his antennae. Aeronavega need leaves. I've been adding more. I've added a little bit of compost to the top of the Aeronavega enclosures now. I don't think they all need it, but just adding that layer of leaves for the Boliana, they just went nuts, absolutely insane. And so now I'm thinking just a little bit on the top of all the Aeronavega. I was doing with Floridensis. I thought Floridensis were eating the leaves. I don't necessarily know if that's the case now. So, Void Film's got a colony of tiger hissers. Any recommendations? Warm. Keep them warm. If they're actually Grandadiri or what we're calling Grandadiri, keep them warm. They really don't like to be cold. They won't reproduce at lower temperatures like Portentosa or Aileropida will. So, any P. giganteum leaf bugs? I have a friend in Michigan working with giganteum. I can't. They gave me an update at the last expo. I can't remember what they said. It sounded like they were doing well though. LC, when I send you those air Vega, can I send you a Bakersfield strain of Paraplaneta Americana if I can collect some? Sure, why not? I'll throw them in a hexagon container and see what pops out of them. Alex, think should I bleach an old roach bin between species? I don't think so. I clean all my enclosures with if they have a barrier, I'll use like a Dawn dish soap type stuff. I'll try to use a less harsh one than Dawn because I notice it sometimes leaves an aroma even after I've been very thorough with rinsing. So, but they often, there's those 7th generation Dawn extra super duper care made with only natural ingredients type stuff, and I'll use those because they work just good enough to get old barriers and stuff off of enclosures, but they're not strong enough to leave like that extra residue and stuff. Title asks if I need Quercus geminata leaves. I live in an oak forest, and actually Angela's property is oak and maple, and we're going to pile up all the leaves this year, and it's going to be great. I'm never going to have to worry about leaves ever again. It's going to be awesome. Void Film says mid to high 70s. That may be okay. I would give them the option to get in the low 80s if you can. Heat Man on the side on the dry. Yeah, that's pretty good. A pretty good way to go. And out of the hissers, it seems like Elliptorhina Davidii wants the hottest and the driest, and Groundfooterhina oblongonota, unless we figure out the Princessia van Weerbekke from Andromana. But until we have definitively figured those out, oblongonota seems to have the highest humidity requirements, I think. So, Altered Pants, what's a rough turnaround time on emails right now? I still need to email some care questions for I've been clearing them every morning, but we're about to go into a depression of email answering because tomorrow morning I won't be able to do emails. I have to basically get straight to packing after I drop Angela off. So I won't actually be doing emails tomorrow morning, likely tomorrow night. So, but right now there's only 27 emails in the inbox. There will probably be more by the morning. In the one inbox, there will more than likely be more in the morning. So, but I'm doing my best to clear it daily except for on the weekends, which I've really been protecting my weekends lately because I need the break. Lorraine Case says, both my Verneri are doing well, no deaths, but no breeding. Are they just slow? Are they at low density? That might be part of it. If they're at low density, they will put all their energy into growing and then have larger litters. But I wouldn't say that they're very slow. Would not say that. They also like some ventilation. They like high air humidity, kind of dampish bark, and a fair amount of ventilation. They definitely don't like to be moist or wet. They kind of like to just kind of be a little on the dank side, but with a little airflow too. Josh says, how do you keep your oblongonota? I have been trying to figure out a way to keep oblongonota that aligns with my watering schedules. He just dropped the banana on his. And for the winter, I'm going to put a polycarb over them. They're getting bottom heat from the enclosure beneath them. And I think that's going to do the trick. It's going to be kind of similar to how I had them when I was cranking them out, which was in a big gasket bin with a heat lamp pointed at one side. Is very similar to that. So, but they've over the last 6 to 8 months, they've kind of not been doing the best. And I think they're going to really pick it up. Like the females look a real chunky right now with the schedule that I've had them on and the enclosure conditions. So I think we're gonna be good there. Okay, we're really going to town. A person, are you moving soon? It is looking like the spring or summer. There's a bunch of other things, gears turning and stuff, but there's a very high chance of spring/summer being the move. Alan asking if my white tigers are breeding. I haven't seen babies yet, but I have both of my individuals are still alive. So, and they do get kind of daily care because they're in here and they're in one of the high priority mist enclosures. So, but anyways, unless anybody has any pressing questions, we're going to wrap up this Roach Wiggle. I don't know if there'll be a Roach Wiggle next week. It will be posted to the Roach Crossing page if there won't be one. So it could go either way because, again, Youmacon is next weekend and I got to get ready for that and blah, blah, blah. Kyle's busy. So I'm not sure if we'll have one next week. But the following week, we will have one the following week. And if there's any raffle detail things, there might be a blog post. Most likely I won't do another blog post. I want the website overhaul donations one to be the top one for a while. So it'll probably be posted in the Discord or on the Roach Crossing homepage, any raffle details. But by next, so not maybe not a live stream next week, but definitely the following week, and things should be kicking into. Should be an interesting one. We may do the raffle, get the raffle stuff moving then. So, okay, everybody, thank you so much for joining. So many viewers, so many likes. Thank you for the super chats again. I hope it was worth it. Maybe next time I'll just start the live stream with a major mail when I have another moment to actually catch it. Catch one of them again. It's surprising. Like they're so big, they're so intimidating, and the first thing I did when I lifted the bar is they're the first to run, even before the major males and the females. So it's really fun, really funny. So take care. Whoop. You got too comfortable. Take care, everybody. I'll see you all either next week or the following week. If I don't see you next week, have a happy Halloween. I'll be past Halloween next week. So happy Halloween, everybody, in advance. And until then and into the future, may your cultures ever be bountiful. Good night, everybody.